Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebartogo.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss YouTuber Brewzle's recent visit to the ABV Barrel Shop. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, as well as our special guests, Darren MacLeod, Jeff Andreezy, and Von Nieters.
Hey gang, what's up?
Howdy.
Hey y'all.
Hello. Hey, so yeah, we're going to be talking about Brewzle, his recent visit to the ABV Barrel Shop. We just finished about a week afterwards as we record this. It comes out later than that, obviously, but as we record this, it was about a week ago that the show dropped. Not necessarily that he came to the store, but the show came out, and we'll talk about the impact of that. We got both Darren and I here who can talk to that. We'll get to that after the break, though. For right now, though, Beka said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Beka?
Steve, I was just wondering, why is The Sopranos the best show to ever have existed?
Really?
I know that you like Sopranos, but I just want to know, is this in fact one of the best shows that was ever created?
Yeah, you threw me for a loop there because literally, I think it was on Thursday, I recorded a video that'll come out on my YouTube channel about why I think Sopranos is the best show of all time. So I'm pretty versed in that at this point, yes. Yeah.
I didn't know that you recorded something like that.
Yes, I recorded that. So people are going to, and that'll already be out. So if you want to see my entire view on this, I will get that out to you. But that'll be out there. That publishes not this Friday, but next Friday, again, as we record this. So it'll be out by the time the show comes out.
That's
so.
Funny.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's by far the best show ever. It's the perfect combination of humor, drama, and the characters are great. And the fact it's the ensemble cast, and ensemble can be tough to do. They did it perfectly. Everyone was perfectly cast. And it's just, to me, what is there, 84, 86 shows? It's like 84, 86 movies.
Yeah, every single one is an actual little show. Have you seen they just put out a documentary about the making of Sopranos?
I just saw that on Instagram today on
you haven't seen it
ad.
Yet.
I have not seen it yet. I will be watching that. Probably start tonight. Yeah.
Yes. That's where this is what this spurs from. We saw that last night on HBO, and
God damn it! You two must just watch TV all the time. You're always ahead of me. I never scoop you guys on.
You can't. Yeah, you can't get ahead of us when it comes to this
never,
stuff, ever.
Never.
No, it's not possible. But I started watching it last night. Royce fell asleep on the couch. He's watching it now, at least the first episode. I'm not sure how much is out of it yet, but at least one episode. But it's a few. Okay. I'm not sure how long it is, but it makes me like Sopranos even more, which I didn't know was possible. Right. Because it's the creator of it. And this is the funniest part, and this is not going to spoil any of it for you, but the funniest part about it is the writer of the show, Olivia, the mother in Sopranos, is his mom. Like,
I know.
The woman is not his mom, but that
It's based on his own mother.
Based on his own mother, so much so that when his cousins watched, they were like, "Oh my God, that's your mom. That's her," which is a really bad look for his mom.
Right. Yeah.
So what is this called? Just so I can.
He's never watched it, Becca. Can you imagine?
Never
this?
watched?
No, I've watched The Sopranos.
Okay,
It's
so
my
haven't.
it's
favorite
called
show
like
of all
The
time.
Wise Guys or something like that. I don't remember what it is, but it's on HBO. It's probably going to be at the top of your list of things to
that's
watch
fair.
on there. But it's the documentary about making The Sopranos, and it is so far really fantastic. It's the show writer who's like telling all this stuff, and he is hilarious. And it's, they're talking to everybody, and it's some of it's old interviews because obviously some people have since died.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is really, really interesting so far. And I'm just like they're showing them casting everybody, and like, they're like, the only person who was like the only star we had was Lorraine from, I don't remember her last name, but she plays Dr.
Rocco.
Melfi.
Yeah.
Who was, in Goodfellas. They're like, that was the only person who was like a real star that we
And a lot of people will say that. They'll be like, well, they had a star in Lorraine Bracco. And you know what I say to that is, Lorraine Bracco's great, and she's great in the show, and she also got an Academy Award nomination for her role in Goodfellas. Okay, what's your second favorite Lorraine Bracco movie?
Exactly.
I mean, so yes, she was a star, but not like a mega superstar by any means.
No.
So, yeah.
No, not a bit.
Yeah.
That
For Italians.
Yeah.
For Italians, probably, but yeah, but still, that's what they're like, that was the only star that we had.
Right.
And then they
Gandolfini had been in a couple things, but nobody really knew him. He's flying under the radar. He was a cameo guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to say this part. This is also like a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, but they created the entire role of Syl for Steven Van Zandt.
Yeah.
They wanted him in the show that bad.
Because David Chase was a fan. Yeah.
yeah, they're
that's
like, and
crazy.
he's like, I don't even act. He goes, well, you're going to.
Right.
And they're like, okay. And so they just created that character specifically for him, which is incredible. And like, I can't imagine Sopranos without Syl.
I know. And he is so great in that show. And for me, I mean, I listen to his book and stuff like that. I'm not really a fan of that guy or even the E Street Band, really. So I can't see how you'd see him and be like, yeah, he'd be great in that, because he was fantastic. I mean, like you said, he was one of the key contributors to making that show, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be the last person on this group that did watch. I did watch it this past winter now, so I have caught up. So
Did you like it?
I loved it. I mean, the comedy, the things that made you
Right.
laugh, and it's a serious show, obviously. I mean, it's supposed to be a drama, but you just laugh out loud, and and the people, because they were just real, and you just can't even imagine. I don't know how they come up with all the things that they
Yeah.
that
I
they
can't
write.
imagine
And
writing that. Yeah. It is so funny, and like, it's like the stuff that's funny is maybe not even intentionally supposed to be funny, but you just like bust out laughing at stuff, and you're like, I don't know, this is supposed to be a funny part, but it's just so funny, and like everyone was cast so perfectly, and no one wanted to pick up the show.
Right.
Like
right,
no one
yeah.
even wanted the show. And then it's like, can you imagine passing up? But also,
It's
HBO
great. It had to be on HBO.
It had to be on HBO.
Yeah.
Like it couldn't be on NBC or Fox or ABC,
Right.
any of that
It'd be
crap,
lame.
because it wouldn't have been as good.
No.
It wouldn't have been real. Another thing was it's just based in kind of realism, the way people talk, the way you act, because you didn't have to cut all that stuff out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
Nieters
the
has
only
been
thing.
relatively quiet. His favorite show of all time is Hannah Montana. So.
I have, yeah, exactly. So I have no idea. I haven't seen it, to be honest with you guys.
Oh
so,
my God. That's embarrassing.
Well,
Worth
make,
a
But it's
watch.
not worth watching, Evan. No,
He's seen Hannah Montana and Full
make
House. Those are his
time
top two.
for it. You will laugh a lot. It also like, and when you rewatch it again, because I've watched it more than once.
Me too.
Rewatching it, you're like, you forget about some of the, like, you're like, oh my God, I forgot this even happened. In the beginning.
Did you say?
I like that
So
show so
where
much.
do I watch it now? Is that also on Max?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on
Yes.
there.
Yep.
Okay.
I like that show so much, and I get so wrapped into it. Now that as I've been rewatching it, the final moment, I have like a mini panic attack.
Yeah.
It's hard for me knowing that the show's going to end, and is Tony going to be dead? Is he not going to be dead? I don't, because they leave it, open. It causes me stress when that the music kicks in and all that. It's a weird thing. I don't have it with any other show, but that definitely that.
And now every time you hear that song,
I know.
Don't stop.
Yeah, it's so weird.
You get a little bit of like PTSD whenever that song comes on.
Right.
Does Tony die?
Right.
We don't know. Which, Steve, what is your opinion on that?
My opinion, and it was from that time actually, and not a very unpopular opinion at the time. I think people have come around a little bit. My opinion at the time was that's the greatest ending ever because we don't know, and and I think you want to leave it open. You like Tony, you don't want him to die, but then again, if you look at things in reality, he really deserves to die. And they set it up where it looks like he was going down that road of gonna be dying, and it looks like, but you don't know. And I like that. And David Chase really has never said, I know he goes back and forth, and there's some interviews, you can go to YouTube and be like, David Chase finally has come out and said what he thinks. Nah, he never really has. He waffles and goes back and forth just to keep it going, I think. So,
yeah. And you don't ever know. Royce is very firmly in the belief that he's like, Tony's dead. Tony's dead. I'm like, we don't know if Tony's dead.
I agree with Royce.
Right.
How many times have we thought that Tony was about to die?
Right. And here's why. The only reason why I agree with Royce at this point is because I don't want it to come back. I don't want someone else to play Tony Soprano other than Gandolfini. I'm fine with the younger stuff, like setting it up and where his son's playing him. I'm okay with that. But I don't want someone else playing that role of Tony Soprano. So in my mind, it's okay to say, if David Chase would come out and say, yes, he absolutely died, then I'm fine with that because Gandolfini himself is actually deceased. So if he wasn't, I'd be like, no, let's do another one and check in on Tony, 10 years later, 15 years later, whatever they wanted to do, or 5 years later, pick it up right after the dinner. Fine. I don't care. Bring it back. But I don't want it brought back, the modern story.
I don't think that they will.
Yeah, I don't
think that they do that.
I think they will. They bring everything back.
They can't bring that, and they can't start over or start
True.
again.
True. They just will remake it and trash it.
They're not gonna
don't remake that.
Sopranos.
Don't remake that.
They're gonna.
They're not
they
gonna
do it to
remake
everything.
Sopranos.
No, I agree.
If anything, they could do I've heard Jamie Lynn Singer talk about possible she's like, I think it would be cool to do start it up with the kids being grown up.
Mm-hmm.
She said that would be cool and she would be down to do that.
Okay.
And then the brother, I don't remember his actual name.
AJ,
Robert
Robert Eiler.
He hasn't acted since, but I think that he said that he maybe would.
They're still good friends. They do
do a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do a whole podcast.
So he doesn't really act anymore, but again, if the money's right, and they do. And I might be okay with something like that as long as Tony's dead in the show, and they're not. There's no one else playing Tony. I'm okay with that. Tony can only be one person, Gandolfini.
Yep.
That's it. He was too good in that role. And I'm fine. They could utilize some of the players that were left in the show that are still alive. Kind of, of course,
they could do a prequel. That's fine. Yeah. They sort of already did do a prequel, but they could do something like beforehand, which that'd be fine. Yeah. Which they did a pretty good job with, who they picked out for actors for their what was it called, Steve? Many Saints of Newark.
Of Newark, yeah.
That was actually pretty good.
That was excellent if you're really into it like we are. There's a lot of people that aren't into it to this level. Yeah. It's almost like just going to a regular bourbon fan versus us, the super bourbon fans. Our level of interest in bourbon is different than someone who's just a casual fan. And I think the casual fans blasted it because they missed it. All went over their head.
It's kind of boring to watch if you have no idea what's happening.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not a show to watch to be like, oh, let's watch this show or let's watch this movie tonight. No, you don't watch that because you're not going to understand.
Right.
That Syl is here. You're not going to understand all the people who are there and understanding them later on.
It's like a documentary where they don't explain what exactly bourbon is. They just assume that you understand it, and then they start talking about other things. And so I love that movie. It's great, and I'll continue to watch it, but I could see how it just flies over a lot of people's heads. So it's cool. Well, Beka, you brought up one of my favorite topics. Check out my YouTube video where I weigh in on that and more.
We did not discuss this prior.
No, it's like a promo for it, so that's good.
This was not a discussion prior.
This whole show is actually sponsored by my Sopranos Talk, the YouTube video. So yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
There you go. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? We're going to start with the guy who doesn't even watch The Sopranos. That's too busy. He's watching Turtle Talk, the exciting TV show on cable TV. What do you got, buddy?
I've got Old Jet Brothers finished in French oak cognac barrels. Very squeaky.
The squeak was way louder than the cork pop. He's got the lead. Could be enough. It was a decent cork pop. I'll give it.
Could have been the best squeak I've ever heard too, though. That was a good squeak.
Yeah, that sounded like a haunted house there or something. All right. Next up is Darren.
I got some Hidden Barn, the first barrel pick from the ABV Barrel Shop.
Okay. Nice, but not as good as Von Nieters' flawed cork pop. All right, Beka, what do you got?
I've got the Bomb Burgers.
Oh, that looks like a pretty full bottle. Did you get another one?
No, this is the bottle.
Okay. All right,
But what I'm going to do is chug
be
all
empty.
of it right
That'll
now so that you
that'll
don't
be
have
empty.
any
Oh,
later
bullshit.
this week.
That's
We're
the
going to
last
listen to
show for.
how bad of a cork pop this is because Steve's opened it so many times.
Okay. It was better than Darren's. We'll say
That's second place.
second place. We're behind Von
And I
Nieters.
still haven't washed this glass.
Jesus.
Oh my word!
I'm going to bring my own glass with me. Remind me of that.
I've got
Now
some
it's
of
just
those too.
now it's just to gross you out, Steve.
It's gross. Jeff, what do you got there, man?
I've got some Knob Creek bourbon rye, bourbon times rye. Bourbon.
Were you asking us or telling us? Sir?
I don't know. It's whatever this one is. Whatever they call this.
Sure.
Good.
Okay. No, it had more of a dust kit than anything there. That was bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
All right, I've got from Bardstown Bourbon Company. I have the West Virginia special one. So finish in a infrared toasted cherry oak barrels. So this is one of their special ones. It's the West Virginia distillery one. So available in West Virginia, which I was at recently because my kid moved there. So let's see what we got here. Here we go. Swat on the set. Oh,
Pretty
that's
sharp.
a winner. That's a winner.
Chris.
A little slosh at the end. A little slosh,
Good.
but overall, very good cork pop. So cheers to me.
Cheers.
All right, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about the time Brewzle came to visit the ABV Barrel Shop. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show. Great job today, gang. Fardians, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. We'll be mailing again, once again. Take care, everybody. See ya.
Happy Festivus.
Later.
Bye, guys.
Happy Festivus.
Yeah, happy Festivus.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about Brewzle.
Yes, we are. So Brewzle is a noted YouTuber. Many of you have probably heard of him. That's great, and many of you probably haven't. That's also great as well. He's an interesting character from YouTube. He does a lot of different types of videos. He does some tasting videos and stuff like that. But I think he's most known for bourbon hunting videos, and that's what he did when he came to the ABV Barrel Shop. He was just coming in to shop for bottles, look for unique things. And he came in with the camera rolling, and I happened to be there that day. I was working by myself. It was during the week, I believe, and it was like a couple months. It was like June of 2024, and then it came out in late August of 2024. It came out actually on the Friday of what would be Labor Day weekend. So I don't know anything about that. I'd only heard of him a few months prior. Seth Detling was interviewed by him, and Seth, I talked to him, and a lot of people were talking about that video, and I saw it was very popular. I didn't understand, why it was so popular, what was going on with that, because, distillers get interviewed by a lot of people, and a lot of people were talking about that one. So I watched part of it. I wanted to see a couple things. Number one, did they show how remote his distillery was, which they did. I wanted to see, I wanted to check the landscape because I had to make that drive. And then I wanted to see, how he was depicted, what he had to say in that video. So I watched, several minutes of it, but not a whole lot. And that was my only exposure to Brewzle. But Seth did say, hey, this has a great impact on my business. A lot of people are interested in what I'm doing, and sales have been great because of that. And, retailers are demanding I send out more product and stuff because of that. So I knew that the impact on him was great. And then Darren was by himself on the Friday and Saturday when that came out. We were closed Sunday and Monday for the Labor Day, and it ended up being a pretty crazy weekend, right, Darren?
It was insane. It was funny because it was on a Friday, so all the regulars were in the shop in the morning, and Steve called like halfway through Foolproof Friday and was like, hey, there are a bunch of new people there yet? The video just got uploaded, and I knew it was coming out, and I was like, oh, no, I haven't seen everyone I know here by name. And then about 20 minutes after that first phone call, they just started rolling in left, right, and center.
Yeah. So it ends up being, a great weekend, and then we're off Sunday and Monday. Unfortunate, because we probably could have had a very busy holiday weekend, but that's okay. On Monday it picks up. Great Monday, great Tuesday builds. Wednesday's awesome. Thursday's off the charts. Friday's great. So week to week, we end up like doubling our sales for a normal week. And Darren and I talked about that. We're like, man, it was a busy week. And Darren runs the numbers because I don't really have access to the computer. And he runs the numbers, and we like doubled our sales. We were like high-fiving about that and excited. It was a great week. And then like that night when I'm at the house, I was like, wait a second, we doubled our sales. We were closed 2 days. I mean, we're usually open 7 days a week. So it had great impact, and it's also had a great impact on my my YouTube channel, because I did a kind of a response video that I recorded on Tuesday. So it dropped on Friday. Stores close Sunday and Monday. On Tuesday, I get there early, record this video, and then load it up for my Friday weekly video. And I usually get, and I'm not making this up. My normal video for Fridays is like 100 views. That's what I get. And sometimes it's over that, and that's good. I'm excited.
Unless I'm in it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, well, Beka makes it on a lot of the shorts. I haven't had her on one of the long videos where I just talk. So, it's usually just, like I said, 100. And if I get 150, might have had 200, one time, which is cool. And I'm like, that's unbelievable. That's different level. So I made this video about Brewzle, and here we are. So it's been, again, 3 days since I uploaded that. My subscribers have gone from 2,000 to 4,500, and that video has over 16,000 views. So
Holy cow.
I made. So quite an impact.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I another big impact that we've seen, and then we can ask people questions. But
yeah, people, or they can ask us questions.
Yeah, that might be a fair way of saying that. Is the people that come in have been awesome. Like,
yes,
we've gotten several of them in the syndicate.
That's true.
And a couple of them showed up for this week's Foolproof Friday and just hung out the whole time. And they're like, okay, this is where I fit in, cracking the same jokes that we do, and
Right, just kind of instantly fit in where they come in and they're just like they've always been there. That's a good point. And yeah, what I like is I always felt like what we have is special with the ABV network because it's good people. It's not the let's attack the newbies or people who ask a question or and I mean, for the most part, most of the comments in the videos, whether it's mine or Brewzle's, and then the interaction with the people themselves in the store is fantastic. They're really nice people, and that's a breath of fresh air because most people that have Facebook groups and that it's all about attacks and these keyboard warrior things where you're all tough because it's the degree of anonymousness, anonymity that you get as the internet. People feel emboldened and for some reason feel the need to attack people. And we don't seem to have that with his audience or ours. So it's cool.
And any of the visitors coming from out of the region, have they been relatively local?
I don't know if Steve's noticed it yet, but yesterday night, I think, as we were recording this, I had someone that saw it that was coming in from Arkansas, and someone else that saw it that was coming in from like Northern Illinois, and then someone from Kentucky all last night, I believe. Or Indiana was the other one. There's three people from Indiana that came in after seeing it. So, and they just happened to be in. Some of them were in for a baseball tournament.
And I had Wisconsin and a Pennsylvania, and then also a lot of far-reaching within Missouri, Gasconade County and somebody from Kansas City. Again, they're not typically driving over from those areas to come in and shop our store. So a lot of curiosity from outside the market as well. So
where does Mr. Brewzle live?
Alabama.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What was he up in? He was just bourbon hunting, just cruising around the country.
He's big enough with like 680,000 subscribers, maybe more than that as you look yourself, because it's always growing. But as we record this, and I think you can make because he's getting 200,000 or 300,000 views when he's doing one of these videos. I think that gives him the means to have the cash to drive around and just do this full time. So I think he's out going everywhere. You might see him in North Carolina, you might see him in Kansas City then, and he goes all over the place for these videos. At this point, that's what he does. So,
how long has he been doing videos?
That I don't know. Have any insight on that, Darren?
I think because I remember seeing him in the beginning, and it was probably 2 or 3 years ago, 4 maybe.
Yeah,
he's got more followers on Instagram than a certain man that wears an ascot around his neck.
Yeah, and I tell you what, and the guy with the ascot has a large audience as well, but I don't know that even he, despite his on a national basis, I mean, we're not going to say anything bad about him because he's on the Today Show. He writes for Forbes.
He's a different type of.
He's a big deal.
I wouldn't even call him an influencer, really, honestly.
Right.
Like for Fred, I would say that he's more. I mean, he's a writer.
But I don't know
personality. I would say that Fred's a personality more than anything.
I don't know that he moves the needle like Brewzle has done.
I think that
Brewzle may be unique. Yeah.
I think, and this is not a knock at Fred, but I think that Fred has become a little bit like not in touch with the regular people.
Right.
Yeah,
I do think Brewzle's kind of an everyman. Yeah.
Yeah, so he
exactly
comes off like just a guy. He could be any one of you walking into a place, and he doesn't seem like some sort of like. And this is not me saying anything bad about Fred. I say but it's a different thing where like Fred is like hanging out with celebrities. So it's like what Fred drinks it's like, it doesn't feel like that. Like I can get what Fred gets.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where a guy who just seems like everyone else, like if he can find it, I can find it for sure. Right. Like it seems like the stuff that he's doing is an attainable thing to go and like taste, like Fred's drinking a lot of fancy stuff.
Yeah,
and like
I agree.
Normal people can't drink that stuff.
Right, because if Fred decided he wants to do a thing with Julian Van Winkle, he's going to go over to Julian's house.
Exactly.
He's
He can do
he's
it.
going to drink. He's going to drink Pappy 23,
Which is
and
cool.
and it is cool, and there's something to be said for that. But Joe Everyman or Joe Everywoman isn't doing that themselves.
Yeah.
If they want it, they would need to do what Brewzle does: walk into the liquor store and see what's there. And by the way, none of his stuff is set up. I had no idea he was coming in. There was nothing set up about that. And by the way, when he took stuff, he just really bought it. What he took out of the store, he paid for. He bought. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a couple of his other videos, and he was talking about Total Wine, and it's a 50-50 shot whether they'll even let him record when he's in there. Mm-hmm. So he's not setting it up, like you said.
No, he's not setting up. He just shows up and he's filming. And I haven't watched much of his stuff, but people have said that, yeah, if he shows up and they tell him no, then he's just like, well, they shut me down. I can't go into this place. And that's part of the video then. That's it. And he shows you. Yeah. So.
Which checks out. So
Interesting.
it's cool that it's fun to see an influencer type who is actually just like down to earth, cool.
Yes.
Like, I'm assuming fun to hang out with. You say you're pretty on board with him, so I'm assuming that he's pretty much a cool guy. So it's cool to see them when they're like that, because there's definitely influencers have kind of made a bad name for themselves with some of this stuff, and so it's nice to see that there's some who have actual big audiences who are bringing in the right type of people.
Right. It's nice to see someone going in and spending their own money, even if they're making the money from what they're doing. That's nice, because most influencers aren't spending a dime. They're sampling, they're recommending, they're tasting what has been sent to them for free, or even different than that, they're getting paid to drink that item.
It is day 6 of our cross-country bourbon hunting.
Sorry.
The guy's so good. People are watching his videos as they're recording with us, right?
Right.
They could care less about the content we're creating. They're watching Brewzle's content right now.
I was going to try to look up his name and everything.
His name's TJ. I forget. I don't know. I looked up his last name, but I can't remember what it is right now. But
so,
yes.
With all this being said, on like how he's a genuine guy, and like, kind of feels like he's kind of one of us, just, has a camera and has a good outlet to, put it out to people. Do you feel like his fans that are now becoming your customers are people like us that, care about what we're drinking and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. And I do feel like I offer something different. I don't feel like TJ or Brewzle, whatever you want to call them, I don't feel like there's a lot of overlap in what we do. So there's the ability to like both, where I don't do anything where I'm going into stores. Sometimes if I'm on a vacation or something like that, I'll show, hey, here's what's in the bourbon aisle, and it's short. It's not me talking or anything. I just want to show what's in other markets and stuff like that. And I've always done that, but I'm not out bourbon hunting or anything like that. And my focus is not necessarily on the bottles, which his is more on bottles and acquisition and taste of those particular bottles. Mine's on the people and the stories and the brands. So it's two different things, really. Two different takes on the same product, the product being bourbon or American whiskey. But it's two different ways to look at it. So I think that there's room for both of us within our audiences.
Way different things.
Right.
When is the last time that you went bourbon hunting, Steve?
It's been years, and it's not a thing I do anymore. And matter of fact, I say that in reality, because I was a bourbon hunter when bourbon hunting was a thing, and very different than it is now. I say that bourbon hunting's actually dead. In fact, I mean, scoring the things that the people desire is really not there, unless you're willing to pay super premium prices.
The shitty part.
Yeah, I mean, finding something from BTAC, that does not happen. Again, if you come across it, which it does, that does happen, but it's $1,500, $2,000. Well, that's not really bourbon hunting. It's paying that sort of money. That's not a thing for me. So,
I did see that you were hunting for a bottle, though.
Yes, because I'm beholden
You have all
to
of them,
this.
don't you?
Well, do I collect it, or does it just own me? And that's the little book collection. And they dropped this to me. The little book collection's once a year in August, and now they've thrown me for a loop because they put an extra one in there. I'm thinking, well, if I have a full collection, I got to have that one too. So, yes, I will be going to the distillery. I'm going to be there for the Bourbon Festival. I'll arrive on Wednesday. I'm going to go and I'm going to shop at the distillery, and usually they have them there. So I'm hopeful that I will get one there. If I miss out and they don't have one there, I'll try a couple different days. And if I miss out altogether, my friend Dave Hoyle's going to be there the next week, and he said he would look for me when he's there. So hopefully between Dave and I, one of us can get this thing. And I just want one for my collection because, again, I want to collect them all, have them not open, and then at some point, I don't know what that's going to be, but there'll be some moment when I want to open all of them, but have a big party, and maybe you guys will all be invited, depending on if you like me or not. Yeah, at that time. Yeah.
If you can't find one by then, and I'm invited, I'll bring mine.
Okay. He'll bring his. So yes,
If there's any left.
Right.
if there's any left. Yeah, if I can only
You
get
can't
one,
wait too long.
if I can only get one, I'm not opening it, at least right now. People will be very critical. Why even get it then? Well, I want to open it all, and I want to have a set. And but so I'll be drinking Von Nieters as far as an open one. So his will be gone very soon. Very soon. Yeah. What?
Steve,
Anything else you guys want to know about Brewzle?
Well, I thought it was awesome that you threw out the complimentary membership just to
Yes.
give it a try. And you
Yes.
tied it back to the try before you buy.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah,
the store, you know.
I thought that was a great approach for that because, again, Brewzle's fans, much like our fans, didn't have a deep knowledge. There were certainly some, and there's some crossover where some of his fans said, you should have known Steve Akeley before, whatever. I would say it's safe to say the majority of our fans don't know who Brewzle is. A majority of his fans don't know who mine are. And I said, you know what, we got this cool thing. And I threw it out there where you could join us for a year for free. It'll be good until next June 30th when we renew. And you know what? You can try before you buy if you like it. If you like what goes on with the ABV Network crew, you can keep staying with us. If not, you got to see what it was all about for a year. Maybe you want to join us on some trips. We do a lot of different things. So we got a great Facebook group, and you can see if it's for you. So I opened it up to them, and I think we're over 100 now that have taken me up on that offer.
Oh, wow.
So really nice. Really nice. So, yes. So they're filtering in. I just send an email invite, and they're coming in not all at once. It's not en masse. It's I send out the email invite. When they click on it, they join the Facebook group. So they're flooding in. So yeah, we're starting to see some of them already, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully they like what we do, and hopefully again there's this crossover between the two audiences because we're all just bourbon fans at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to Evan's question earlier. Steve answered it about the network people. The people that are coming into the shop, I think, are going to be like on Rate the Regulars within the next couple months. Like they seemed all in, and they're going to be here several times. So there's going to be some of those names that are making plays for those spots.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool too. And Darren and I have also seen it where we've had a couple customers. And again, this sometimes happens. You come into the store, you like it, you're friends of ours. And then, I don't know, things happen and you're just kind of not there. And then next thing you know, it's been a while since you've been here and you just kind of quit coming in. And some of those have returned and stuff like that. So, we've had the return of some customers that hadn't been in a while, but saw some Brewzle, was like, yeah, I meant to come in here. No issue or anything. Just kind of forgot and needed the reminder. So it's cool. Yeah. So we're enjoying it. We're enjoying the goodwill of it, and definitely enjoying the fact that we're kind of combining a couple audiences there, and hopefully things continue to work out and go in the right direction. So it's very cool. It's one of the coolest things I've seen, and I just don't see audiences like that typically. Like I said, there's other groups, and again, I don't understand the people who just want to get in fights all the time, and there's people that try to bait that activity too. They say obnoxious things with the intention of getting people riled up and starting fights, and I don't see that in either of these groups, and I like that. So there you go.
Thank God.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Yep. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Von Nieters, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Von Nieters.
All right, Darren.
You can find me at the ABV Barrel Shop, talking to this flood of people that we've newly found, and also on Instagram at the Bourbon Adventures.
All right, Jeff.
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and the Cigar Dojo, Jeff Endreezy, 2 I's and 2 Z's.
Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue. 1K, no C's.
Well, does anybody ever mess that up? Does anybody ever get that wrong?
Yeah. I feel like some people don't know how to spell my fucking name in here.
People
Very disrespectful.
I did a post where I spelled Beka's name with the 2 C's and all that. And I put out, and the goddamn thing wasn't out 2 minutes. And I start getting texts from her, 3 of them. It was like a big screenshot and then narrowed down and then right down on the 2 C's.
I zoomed in on the screenshot.
I just fucking zoomed in on the same shot. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I couldn't fix that thing fast enough. The texts are coming in. I'm trying to get it fixed out there. And the texts are coming in and stopping me.
And it went out in your fucking like email too, Steve, like that.
Oh, Jesus.
I literally got a message that was like, "Who's this person?" And I was like, "I have no fucking clue who that is." Literally, it's like, the all-star pick with all these people, but can't spell my fucking name right. And what's even funnier about that is I was like, "Oh, am I even invited, Steve? Are you only inviting me because Royce is invited?" And you're like, "No, I really want you there." Yeah. Clearly. Spelt Royce's name right. Spelled everyone else's name right. Yeah. I'll remember this, Steve.
I think you should take it personally, Beka. I think he meant harm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think he did. I think he was just trying to hurt my feelings.
Yeah. Well, you cost me. She cost me thousands with that iced tea thing. I sent her over a screenshot of a receipt with 2 iced teas on there. That was $8 plus. I got a tip on that. Let's just say $5 a piece right there at 20% tip.
Cutting into Steve's net worth.
$10 right there, gone. I'm $10.
And it's going to continue
My
until
net
you
worth
can learn how to
is
spell my
lowered by
fucking
10.
name.
There you go.
Oh, man.
For me, I'm an easy guy to find at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. And also come by the ABV Barrel Shop. You never know what's going on. Maybe Brewzle will be there. You just never know what's happening. We are available online, abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you to please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
1K no C's.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.